Hey, Dr. Kat here with Embrace Her and Thrive. Today we're going over week 8 in the series of Roots to Results. Let me tell you how this is like my fifth recording. So I've been under the weather, ain't feeling that great, but I was like, I'm not going to be absent for a second week. I gave y'all some shorts for last week so that you can get some snippets of some goodies. But this week I was like, I'm going to get on here and I'm going to do this. Okay? So if you notice me drinking a little bit of water, doing my thing, it's because I'm taking care of myself while I take care of you. Okay. So we're going to wrap up this series of knowing where you came from and how you are going to go to where you want to get to. All right. Last week we did friendship. No, last week we did parent. So parenting and how you reflect what you want to your children. You just mirror that over to them. The week before was friendship. So we're going to recap all the weeks so that you know what you're looking for. And if you haven't already seen them, you can go back and watch them. All right. Just a quick recap because week 8 is about celebrating you and how you made it to the end. Yeah, you made it, right? So we're going to just celebrate all your accomplishments and we're going to go over just how you wrap this up, right? How you become all the things that you've been learning for 8 weeks. So let's celebrate you. Congrats, right? You made it. You made it. Now, you may not feel like after 8 weeks of watching YouTube videos that you are a transformed individual. That's not what this is about. It don't happen that quick. For most of the people that I'm talking to, you are decades lovely. Okay. And you've been doing some of the things that you've been experiencing have been around for a long time. So let's just be realistic. Okay. All right. So we're going to be optimistic, realistic. When I say realistic, just so you know, it's for lack of a better word in some moments, but I really mean let's be compassionate. Let's be thoughtful. Let's not expect you to erase a decade worth of information in like, I don't know, 8 weeks. Okay? All right. So use what I'm giving you and it will get you a change in results. It should happen very slow and steady, but you have to use it consistently. Okay? All right. So when we talk about you becoming the result, for those of you that are new here, I keep my cliff notes here and I freestyle the rest. So you may notice I got a focal point, but child, listen, my brain can go in a million directions, but I be having a point. I get to the point, okay? So becoming the results, back to the point, is where you are in a place now where little homie just want to be in the shot today. He's saying hello to you all. Where you are not just doing what we're telling you to do here or offering for you to consider, however you want to hear it and see it. We give you things here that have principles behind them, that have been found to be true, have been found to be helpful. Sometimes they come from biblical places, spiritual places. They come from places where there are strong foundations, and I've seen them work in real life, whether it's for me or somebody else. I never ask you to do something I have not done myself. So I know that this stuff takes a while and that it can be not fun. But I also talk about in some of these series that you need to make sure you're having fun in the meantime, or this will be painful and it'll feel like it takes forever. Okay. So let's talk about the becoming. It goes from something that you do to someone that you are. Like when I first started, it was me learning how to self-soothe myself so I did not curse out my partner. Now it is, I am just someone who has a conversation with my partner, who takes the time out if I need to, and then I come back and we either resolve it in a way to where we both can have different opinions or we resolve it to where we agree. That's now who I am. But that took a while to get to. I can't even remember what it was like to just want to argue with someone for the sake of arguing. It's been so long. Now, is it a perfect thing? No. Sometimes I still use those old coping patterns. Like I might shut down a little bit, or I might be like, listen, before I shut down, let me just take a time out because I'm going to snap on you a little bit. But even when I do that, I can't even think of harmful things to say. Like nothing comes to mind. So you really want to get to a place where you become the person that is what you used to do. Okay. And that takes consistency, time, patience, and a crap ton of compassion. Okay? All right. So you really want to live them. These kinds of shifts within you teach you how to go from survival mode. That's what I talk about a lot before the series. How to go from survival mode to living. That's why it's called Embrace Her and Thrive. You embrace you because that's usually the answer to you getting to thriving out of survival mode. Okay? So you go from survival mode to being self-led, trusting yourself, and honoring yourself. Those seem like woo-woo psychology phrases, but they're not. The issue with most women is that they don't trust themselves. I'm not just talking about the flesh. I'm talking about that little voice in there that tells you not to date him or her, and you still do it because you want to see what happens. You don't need to learn lessons 18 times. Just let that pretty thing go, okay? Go find something that's a better deal. We'll talk about that in the dating section, okay? In aisle 4, okay? So you really want to like trust yourself. You may not always know why, but there is a part of you that works. It knows what to do. Now, if you think, you know what, I feel like it's just a lack of trust in people in general, okay, well, then that's something that you could work through. Then you know that you probably want to pause the dating or you want to pause looking for a new job just for a little while and work on trusting yourself so you can smooth that out, okay? All right. We're also going to talk about how you can, let me go back to what we went over in the 8 weeks, okay? Because I just went straight into week 8, okay? What we went over in the 8, this is why I got notes for y'all. See, I got y'all. What we went over in the 8 weeks were self-awareness, generational patterns, love, parenting, friendship, purpose, and alignment, okay? So now we're going to talk about how you take all that and you become her. And that was what we moved into because I skipped over that, okay? I'm not going to re-record. You get me as I am, okay, in all my imperfect glory, okay? This is what you got, okay? So becoming the results was the point of today, okay? How you take all that and you just let it become you slowly over time, all right? Okay. I got a point of reflection for you. You know, I like to ask you questions so you can take a moment and think. So take a beat, pause. Okay, we're talking about becoming what you've been learning for these weeks. Question: what patterns surfaced in these past weeks? Now, when you start making changes, old patterns tend to surface. That's just a natural reaction of the body and the brain and the mind. What you'll notice is when you start trying to put new stuff into the system, that the old stuff will kick back. Okay, it's called a feedback loop. What patterns come up when you try and do new things? What do you call self-sabotage? Okay, that's what most people call it. That's just your protective systems, like turning on all the stuff that it knows how to do, right? Notice those. That's where you put self-compassion and then you pivot as soon as you can, all right? All right. Next thing is your inner compass. So I hinted at it just a minute ago. It's your purpose, your intuition, and your alignment. One way I heard it said one time was, you want your brain, your mind, your heart, and your gut to sync up. And that can form your intuition is that whole thing. Some people call your intuition just your gut. I call your intuition your whole self. So you want your mind, your heart, and your gut to sync up, okay? You want everybody to be on the same accord. If they're not, you want to examine it first. Don't just assume it's the other person or it's the other thing. You want to examine it first, see if there's a history behind it, see if there's something going on. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It means if there's some wiring in there, you want to see if it's intuitively giving you some wisdom or if it's a pain point and you need to work it out, okay? Intuition generally is what we've been working on this whole time. You trust in yourself and your intuition. That's this whole 8-week series so that you can see what's blocking it, getting in the way. Because it limits your relationship with your kids, your relationship with your career, your relationship with your money, your health. When you hold on to stress and pain, it tends to just put deposits of pain and tension all in your body. And that turns on your fight or flight system. And that leads women to retain not only just weight on their shoulders, but weight in their bellies, pain in their backs, in their knees, tension headaches, all that are symptoms and signs that you're holding on to things that no longer serve you. Okay. So I'm here to help you let that stuff go, release it. Don't invalidate yourself and be like, it doesn't matter. That don't work on you. Find the people that you need to find to be on your team to help you learn how to release it properly. Okay. All right. So you want to take the new data that we gave you and you want to hold it within yourself. It'll get kicked out, then you bring it again. Then it kicks out, then you bring it again. And you just keep doing that repeatedly over and over again. Okay. Until your body says, fine, you can keep it. And it'll do it kind of half-assed, but it'll do it. Okay. All right. Next, what are the signs that you are starting to become the result? Not just see it, but become it. Okay. These are some nice signs. I like these. A lot of times my people miss these, and then I have to be like, wait, back up. That was actually a sign right there. So the signs. This one is very subtle, but meaningful. You slow down before reacting, and grace replaces survival. Sometimes you just got to slow down, but when you start slowing down and you notice you didn't have to try, that's how you know you're becoming. When you sit and the first thing you notice is you thought about it first, and you consideration is a part of that sign. That's how you know, okay? That's number one. You slow down before reacting. 2, you choose relationships that feel safe, mutual, and nourishing. You don't do any more chaos chemistry, exciting chemistry that just feels stressful. You don't do that anymore. You choose what feels, some people call it boring. Some people call it meh. Some people call it calm. You really want it to feel safe, mutual, and nourishing. And when you start noticing that your friends are like that, your partners are like that, that means your body and your mind, all 3 pieces, are starting to notice that that just works. Okay. And I talked about before in the relationship parts of the series, it's not about you doing the rejecting everyone, isolating, and now I'm good to go. I don't need anybody. It's that you can actually have relationships and feel that way, feel safe, and like there's mutual benefit, and it's nourishing. Okay. Last point, the third piece of that is your self-talk upgrades. This means your inner child is no longer driving your car. Your self-talk doesn't sound like criticism into greatness, which is actually not a real thing, by the way. It can motivate you to a certain age, but after a while, your body gets tired of it. You are sounding more calm in your mind. There may be still somebody running around there talking all the time, but it sounds more like what you can do versus what you can't do. Okay. It talks to you differently. It sounds like a very helpful person in your head. Occasionally, the little gremlin back there may come out and you notice the gremlin. That's the 4th one. Okay. That just came off the cuff. Okay. The gremlin, when you notice it and you go, oh, I know you, then you can help it. I just had an MRI done today, and I was in that machine and I had the headphones on. And when I go in MRIs, especially if my head is going to be in there, I close my eyes first, right? I never feel safe in those because I've had no experience, by the way, of being in an enclosed space. But for some reason, it's just a natural reaction of the body for many people. So something told me to open my eyes. I don't know what part of my brain thought that was a good idea. I opened my eyes and I immediately started looking like, oh God, and the system turned on and my gremlin came out. Actually, it's my amygdala. I can see the difference. My amygdala was like, oh my God, we're dying. And I was like, no, we're not. So I had to do a visualization because I know what a safe and nourishing relationship feels like. It was really easy for me to imagine a Katrina that cradled my amygdala like kind of like a baby. And my amygdala was like, no, but don't you see? And I was like, I know, we're safe. And I just said it over and over again. We're safe. We're safe. I closed my eyes though, because eyes open, I'm not graduated to that yet. But I talked my amygdala down, I talked my heart rate down, and I biohacked. And I told my body, this is what we are doing right now. And it was like the longest 3 minutes because I only had 3 minutes left. But it actually got smoother toward the last minute. And I was like, oh my gosh, I calmed myself down. I didn't tell them to stop. I didn't tell them to pull me out. I was actually able to imagine that I had some say in my body. because I have been in so many healthy relationships now. I had so much wiring to help me do that. Okay, so just keep going. Okay, keep going, girl. Don't quit. All right. Another part you might notice is what you leave behind. Okay, we moved on to the next point. What you may leave behind are these things: old coping patterns. Like, I don't shut down and block people out like I used to anymore. I may not talk to someone as much because they don't really prefer the way that I interact if I have boundaries or things like that, but I don't just lock people out. If they call, I'll pick up, or if they want to interact, I'll do like short interactions. No, it's no biggie. So old coping patterns will go away. Childhood fear-based scripts will go away. Like I was a family ATM or the people pleaser. I don't do much of that anymore. Cycles you inherited but refuse to pass on will be let go. And you will be pretty good at addressing your emotions. So it's kind of like an emotional graduation, okay? And you just, you go from being emotionally in elementary school to being in middle school to being in high school, all the way to graduate. And it's not sometimes it's a financial cost actually, but the cost you pay, you will think it's worth it because of the peace you get, okay? Many people come to me for just peace of mind to start. And having a peace of mind, girl, is the best, okay? The best. All right, next, what you take forward. Self-trust. That is priceless, by the way. If you already have it, thumbs up. If you got some while you were here, yay. If you are still looking forward to it, stay with me. You'll always find ways to get more of it, okay? It's something that you gain more of over time. It's not something that just transfers over, okay? What you take forward: self-trust, emotional intelligence, which, by the way, has been linked to improved life for people, just overall quality of life, improved financial status, and smoother daily life, okay? And better relationships. Generally, it just improves your life. You take forward a relationship with your body, intuition, and values in sync, okay? And you get new friendships and connections that you cultivate things that you never would have thought of. Like the conversations I have with the friends I have now, they're multiplication, they're not addition. We're looking at ways to just accentuate our lives in so many ways. Excuse me, my little tummy. Accentuate our lives in so many ways. And we have conversations about growth, not limitation. We don't commiserate and complain very much. If we have something to get off our chest, we support each other, but we don't spend a lot of time there because it's just not needed. If I have a day where I need to go cry on somebody's shoulder, of course, but it's just not the norm. It's not the baseline. Okay, the baseline is much higher, right? All right, so we're going to look at how you can consider clear, doable steps to just keep yourself going, because I'm going to move on to something newish. Repetition is key. You got to hear something like 7 times in order to really get it in there. So I'm going to keep repeating myself in different series and different ways, but this series in and of itself is done. So how do we move you forward? What does that look like? You can do weekly self-audits. I gave you a lot of free tools attached to different videos. You can use those to do audits, or you can create your own. You really want to celebrate your wins, okay? Because if you don't, your brain won't notice any growth and you'll get discouraged. I still have to remember to do that. Women, right? Professional women especially, we forget to celebrate our wins. We just keep on going. So I have to remember to stop and do that. You can do 2-minute grounding check-ins. Like I was cooking something for the holidays. My little tummy was acting weird. I hadn't eaten. I was like, I know I need to eat something. I was just rushing. I have to check myself on moving like it's an emergency. So I had to do a 2-minute check-in to really get myself back in line, okay? To get myself back to where I want to be. I have to do that here too, like a check-in. Because I get excited when I teach and then I go, oh, wait, slow down. All right. You can do a monthly alignment review. Look at your relationships, your goals, and anywhere you're leaking energy. Energy is the hottest commodity out there. Energy and time they're right there next to each other. You got to see which one is important to you at what phase of life. I typically value time over everything, but energy is right there with it. Because as someone who lives with fibromyalgia, my energy can just be zapped right out no matter what I do. But if I do what I need to do, it's real stable. It does much better. So energy, okay? Make sure you're aligned. Check in once a month or more. I also like to use apps, certain apps that really keep me in line for either eating, mental health, things like that. Journaling prompts. I journal periodically. I do more brain dumping journal. If you want to know about that, just leave a comment and I'll respond. Um, or systems. Systems are amazing for business, but they're also great for mental health maintenance and physical health. So systems you want to have in place. So like make sure that you see all the providers that you want to see on your care team. Make sure that you are consistently doing whatever is important to you in your mind, body, and spirit. And keep the systems in place so that you can keep that train going. Okay. Yeah. So keep it honest, keep it consistent, make sure your growth is there. If you haven't subscribed or liked, go for it. We're always here for you. We love you. We believe in you. This is week 8 of Roots to Results. We celebrate the results today, okay? We don't just always tell you that you need to keep fixing yourself. You are wonderful as you are, okay? You're good to go. So I hope this blessed you. I hope it helps you keep you on track so you can keep on moving forward. And I'll see you at the next one. Love and hugs. Bye.